Recap: Tales of Herding Gods, Chapter 499. Translator: Atlas Studios. Editor: Atlas Studios. Within the Three Lives Mirror, the river of time surged in reverse, its current flowing ever deeper into antiquity, peeling away layers of ages long buried. At last, another world emerged from the depths of time. Shaman god Kui and innumerable gods and devils received a heavenly decree, descending like a celestial tide upon the lower bound, to launch a grand crusade against founding Emperor Celestial Heavens. At this sight, even King Yama's composure wavered. His dark form stirred, and he rose abruptly, stepping forward to gaze more closely into the Three Lives Mirror. He sought to discern who, in the boundless firmament, had issued the command to annihilate founding Emperor Celestial Heavens. The memories unfolded from Shaman god Kui's own perspective, a vision born of his very eyes. His sight stretched vast and unrestrained, reflecting the immeasurable splendor of the true celestial heavens. Countless gods and devils stood in solemn ranks, swearing oaths before their legions, their voices like thunder as they pledged to join the expedition and obliterate founding Emperor Celestial Heavens. Such a spectacle stirred the heart, yet at the same time instilled profound dread. For within that boundless host, even an existence such as Shaman god Kui was but a mere speck, an insignificant soldier amidst the endless ranks of gods and devils of the true celestial heavens. The vision within the mirror gradually ascended, following Shaman god Kui's gaze as it rose toward the true gods who stood above all. Their colossal forms were boundless, towering beyond measure. Around them, the lesser gods shone like constellations encircling the heavens. Shaman god Kui fixed his gaze upon the mastermind, the one revered as the celestial emperor of the celestial heavens. King Yama's heart surged with excitement when Shaman god Kui's sight locked onto an incomparably majestic face. Yet at that very instant, the mirror trembled and distorted. Shaman god Kui's expression suddenly went blank, as though an unseen force had swept through his consciousness. Erasing all traces of that memory, King Yama was taken aback. He immediately pressed his hand upon the mirror. Secrets of light source. The image within the mirror stabilized under his will. Yet, in the next instant, a colossal eye appeared within its depths. The mirror seemed to devour all light, as if swallowing radiance itself, and Shaman god Kui's memories continued to be erased without end. King Yama let out a thunderous shout. His long cape of darkness billowed like a storm, and from within it burst forth a streak of sword light, cleaving fiercely into the mirror. Within the Three Lives Mirror, time continued to recede, revealing Shaman god Kui's earlier experiences. By then, all memories related to the true celestial heavens had been completely wiped away. As though they had never existed at all, King Yama withdrew his hand. The sword light returned to his cape, vanishing without a trace. There exists an incomparably powerful being who sensed us borrowing Shaman god Kui's memories to glimpse him, and thus erased all recollection of himself from Shaman god Kui. His voice resounded with gravity and authority as he spoke solemnly. To perceive that Shaman god Kui was recalling him, and to project his power across time and space to erase it. Such a being is truly beyond comprehension. Within the hall of King Qin, the gathered ghost kings shuddered, to be able to sense when one was merely being remembered, and to erase that memory with ease. Such divine art was utterly inconceivable. Qin Mu was equally shaken. The Three Lives Mirror itself was already a wonder beyond imagination, capable of revealing the entirety of a person's life, as though it were a dream made manifest. Yet now, there existed someone who could detect others attempting to observe them and erase the memory of the observer. Such a technique defied even imagination. If they were attempting to peer into that true celestial heavens, could the one who erased Shaman god Kui's memory be the celestial emperor of that realm? Qin Mu pondered inwardly. Fragments of Shaman god Kui's memories resurfaced within the Three Lives Mirror. He was returning from Yudu, where he had cultivated spells and divine arts. Numerous ghost kings accompanied him, observing every detail. Some held brushes and ink, meticulously recording the divine arts, paths, and skills he had acquired in Yudu. Within those memories, the celestial heavens had dispatched many practitioners of extraordinary talent into Yudu for study. Upon their return, all of them possessed remarkable attainments. This revealed that the true celestial heavens was deeply intertwined with Yudu. Qinmu's heart trembled, and a longing arose within him to venture there himself, to learn the paths, skills, and divine arts of Yudu. All of them were astonishing. He himself had only grasped the soul guide of Nine Spectres sect, and even that was incomplete. Yet despite its incompleteness, it was already extraordinary, capable of summoning back the souls of Apothecary, Granny C, and the others. When shaman god Kuai had worshipped others to death, it was also through the paths, skills, and divine arts of Yudu. If Qinmu could master them, would he not gain yet another formidable method in battle? However, the numerous ghost kings encircled the Three Lives Mirror so densely that not even a drop of water could pass through. As a convict, Qinmu had no way to squeeze through their ranks. At that moment, King Yama's gaze fell upon him. Beneath the shadow of his black robe, his eyes flickered with an inscrutable light. Startled, Qinmu cautiously spoke. King Yama, my predestined lifespan has not yet ended. What you have done is too grave. Do not even think of fleeing. God Chishu interjected coldly. You executed a Yodu spell and seized several of my people, violating the laws of Fengdu. Your crimes surpass even those of Xing'an, and yet you still wish to leave. King Yama, how should he be dealt with? Violating the laws of Fengdu, whether prince or commoner, all are judged alike. Thus, he must indeed be punished. However, extracting the divine arts, paths, and skills from Shaman God Kuai's memories will take time. For now, take him away. I shall personally mete out his punishment later. God Chishu was startled. King Yama intended to punish him personally? Even Xing An and Shaman God King had not received such treatment. Though Qinmu's actions appeared severe, they could be judged as either great or minor. The laws of Fengdu differed from those of Yudu. They did not meddle in the affairs of the living world. To the living, Fengdu and Yudu were both realms of the netherworld. Should the netherworld interfere with the world of the living, the consequences would be unpredictable. This was common knowledge. Fengdu would not interfere with the living world, and neither would Yudu. This was also why Shaman God Kui had previously stated that they could do nothing to Qinmu. King Yama could not punish the primordial spirit of someone whose predestined lifespan had not yet ended. Moreover, Qinmu was the human emperor. God Chishu had originally assumed that King Yama would give face to the previous human emperors, raising Qinmu high before gently setting him down, ending the matter with a few admonishments. But now, it seemed that he intended to make an example of Qinmu through severe punishment. Follow me, God Chishu said, escorting Qinmu out. Once outside the hall, he lowered his voice. When King Yama comes later, just apologize. Do not worry. Nothing will truly happen to you. You have someone backing you. Qinmu relaxed slightly and thought to himself, Village Chief's influence is truly immense. He only passed away not long ago. Has he already become a ghost hero? Outside the hall, Xing'an appeared as a grotesque sphere composed of countless heads and limbs. They writhed, quarreled, and fought amongst themselves, tormenting him endlessly. Suddenly, Xing'an caught sight of Qinmu being escorted from the hall of King Qin. He sneered coldly. Divine Physician Qin, it seems your crimes surpass even mine. I am already released, yet you are still under escort. You have committed too much evil. This is your due. Qinmu halted and asked, Xing'an, what is your predestined lifespan? Xing'an was taken aback before sneering. I am a true god. My lifespan is endless. What predestined lifespan do you speak of? Qinmu shook his head. I am asking how much predestined lifespan remains in your original body. In Fengdu, you only retain the lifespan of that body. Once it expires, you are considered dead. Xing'an's heart trembled violently. God Chishu flapped his wings lazily. Even after predestined lifespan ends, there is still the age of death. Predestined lifespan pertains to the corporeal body, while the age of death belongs to the soul. Do not worry. Once your predestined lifespan ends, you may remain here forever. Terror seized Xing'an. He struggled desperately to leave Fengdu, but how could those he had slain ever let him go? He found himself unable to move even a step, dragged inexorably toward the city by the resentment of the dead. King Yama, you break your word, Xing'an shouted sternly. You intend to trap me here and harvest my soul. He has released you. It is you who cannot leave, Qinmu said, shaking his head. Senior brother Xing'an, do you still not understand King Yama's meaning? If you wish to walk out of Fengdu, You must discard the body parts of others. Only by reclaiming your own body can you leave. Otherwise, you will perish here of old age. Xing'an's heart trembled violently. To abandon the divine bodies he had gathered was to deny everything he had pursued throughout his life. It would render all his efforts to strengthen his corporeal body and primordial spirit meaningless. Will you choose to die of old age here, or stake everything on a final gamble? Qin asked. From the moment you realized you could not become a god, you lost your fighting spirit, did you not? From then on, you were no longer the saint who appears once every 500 years, but a pitiful creature, scavenging others' bodies to strengthen yourself, never realizing that, after death, all of it becomes meaningless. Everything you have accumulated here is something you can see, but not touch. It holds no value. Instead, it becomes a burden. What is not yours will never be yours. Xing'an's Dao heart trembled. Even when cult master Li Tianxing had struck at his Dao heart, it had remained unshaken. Yet now, Qinmu's mere words had carved a flaw within it. To realize that what he believed was his would never truly belong to him. This was the greatest blow of all. The path to godhood. I have already laid it before you, Qinmu said calmly. Though his skeletal form appeared insignificant, his presence compelled Xing'an to look up to him. If you abandon these borrowed body parts and reclaim your own, you may still become a god and walk your own path. Chest, are there still body parts in your stomach that have not turned human? The Tao Ti behind him clamped its jaws shut, yet the dragon Qilin pried them open with great effort, peering inside. Cult Master, there are indeed a few body parts inside. In Fengdu, all body parts transform into humans, except yours. You have yet to die, Qinmu said. Chest, spit them out and return them to him. Let him walk with his own limbs. How could the Tao Ti be willing? The dragon Qilin's muffled voice echoed from within its stomach. Cult Master, I've been eaten again. Qinmu flew into a rage, striking and kicking the Tao Ti. Spit him out! Spit him out now! The Tao Ti remained unmoved. Only after a moment did it reluctantly open its mouth, expelling the dragon Qilin along with the body parts. The dragon Qilin hurriedly hid behind Qinmu, trembling at the sight of the enormous creature. Qinmu flung the body parts at Xing'an's face and said indifferently, Release them. Reclaim your own body, and you will live. Otherwise, you die. Fatty dragon, chest, let us go. Let him decide. Xing'an fell silent. The countless limbs upon him resumed their frenzied assault, tearing at him and dragging him toward death. Yet he could not make a choice. To deny his life's work, to admit his failure, he could not yet do it. Yet he understood one truth. Tormenting the heart was far crueler than mutilating the body. Though Qinmu's cultivation and strength were far beneath his own, in the battle of Dao Hearts, Qinmu had utterly defeated him. His Dao heart had been crushed beyond resistance. Cult Master, will Xing'an abandon those divine body parts? The dragon Qilin asked, glancing back. Qinmu shook his head. That depends on his courage. If he returns to his original body, he may only have a few years left to live. Whether he can become a god within that time is uncertain. But if he does not change, he will die of old age here. I do not know. At that moment, a booming laugh echoed through the air. Qishu, I have heard that my grand disciple has been captured by you.